talking about free speech, yet you're putting actual people in harm's way. That's no longer free speech. If I call for violence against somebody, no one will argue that my speech is protected by the law because I'm inciting violence against somebody. I've now used my speech to hurt other people. You're doing the same thing with this, except it's not with material harm. It is with gathering groups of people who have a vested interest in subverting the law to gratify themselves. Morality-wise, this is 100% unacceptable, and we can make things that are immoral banned.
r/shoplifting. Most people feel guilty when they steal, but this subreddit turns stealing into something to be proud of. The subreddit—
I would like to see their leaderboard, because you have to imagine the top post of the week is going to be the person who got away with stealing the highest priced item. I want to see what they got away with, you know? I love how this subreddit could easily just turn into just like, hey, I stole like $100,000 from a bank, because you're constantly one-upping someone who stole, and it's no longer just shoplifting, it turns into r/bank robbers pretty fast.
Reddit was called shoplifting. It was like a boot camp for thieves. There were
That's
posts
great.
showing—
What was there, like an advice mega thread? Hey, this is how you do it. This is my recommendation. You have to have a magnet on your cock and balls that demagnetizes the sensors when you're stealing.
what to wear so security wouldn't notice you stealing. Another post explained how to remove security tags. And one listed the stores that were easiest to shoplift from. They weren't just teaching you how to steal, they were encouraging it. But soon, things started getting messy. Since anyone could join, a few people showed up just to post warnings. They tried to talk sense into the group, explaining how shoplifting was wrong. But the others didn't want to hear it. They wanted to feel good about breaking the law. So the subreddit cracked down hard. They made strict rules. The first rule was called
moralizing. Hey, if you're gonna come into the r/shoplifting subreddit, okay, you're not gonna make us feel bad on our home turf. Go take that negative energy to like r/atheism, okay?
Moralizing. Here's how
if you want to have a morality opinion, do have a philosophical conversation with the atheists of Reddit. Don't come take that nonsense over here. We're just shoplifting in peace.
Explained it. Stealing is bad. We get it. Nothing else needs to be said about it.
You don't get it, because then you wouldn't do it. No one else can say stealing is bad. We get it, but we still do it. You can't say something else is bad, but we still do it. You don't just say that. Okay, killing is bad. We get it, but we at r/murderers, we're just talking about the best ways to do it, how to dissolve a body, whatever.
And we are all right with the morality of our actions. They even called themselves a wonderful community of allegedly corrupt and soulless individuals.
Oh wow, so they just wear that as a badge of honor to just be pieces of shit. Look, I don't think shoplifting is the worst thing. Like, out of all the crime that exists, it's probably like C or D tier for like how negatively it impacts the world. I think obviously if you're doing it at like Target versus some family-owned business, then it's like, you know the difference. But even doing it at Target, it's just like risk of getting arrested, which is bad. And you also have to understand that if you steal more things, there is a I think I did some research, and there's a correlation with like the rise of shoplifting and inflation, something like that.
This meant no preaching, no guilt tripping, no criticizing shoplifters. If you broke that rule, your post got deleted.
Nice.
And you got banned. No second chances. But moralizing was just one rule out of 6. Another rule was about pictures. Members posted pictures of the stuff they stole. Groceries,
Are you serious? How many power tools did you— this is his own store.
Electronics, anything they could get their hands on. But the moderators wanted the pictures to be educational, so they made a rule called lack of information. It said all posts must now include a short description on how the items were lifted. Violation is removal of post. Then there was rule—
I feel like that one is like the most useless, because how did you get it? I put it in my pocket and I left. Like, making them drop the method, I feel like if anything, that's counterproductive, because if people have to leak their secrets, then, you know, that you're sort of making it more risky for them to give that. It's like, I don't want to give my secret away when I'm showing you the cool stuff I got. You know, that's like, if I want to flex my car, I don't have to tell you how I got the money to get that car, especially if it was in a shady way. I'm just not going to post a picture of my car. This is de-incentivizing people to flex on a subreddit, which is dedicated to flexing the consequences of stealing.
6. It was about violence. Advocating violence is unacceptable. We might have criminal intent, but there is no desire to physically harm another person. The subreddit was like a support group for thieves, and members were genuinely happy. One even wrote, "This feels like a best friend group chat. I love you all so much." As messed up as that sounds, the community kept growing. At its peak, it had over 77,000 members. But soon, people outside the group started hearing about it. spread. Major vlogs and news sites picked up the story. Obviously, the general public wasn't okay with a community teaching 77,000 people how to shoplift. Reddit had to step in. In 2018, Reddit updated its content policy. They added a new rule that banned users from promoting stolen goods. The shoplifting subreddit clearly broke that rule. So in March 2018, Reddit shut it down permanently. The subreddit lasted 9 years before getting banned. And in that time, it probably helped thousands of people
where did they relocate?
into shoplifting. This next group tried to do something good.
So interesting. This is not even, I'm gonna be honest, kind of not interesting. Like, they were around for a long time, promoted something illegal, got shut down, that's it. I mean, okay. That's just like, I mean, yeah, they lasted longer than I expected, but apart from that, they have some funky rules, but I was expecting there to have been some big story that came out as a result of this subreddit existing, you know? Like some guy who's linked to like 1,000 huge heists was also linked to this subreddit or something. It just seems like, from what I've seen, that it was just like a boring bunch of bums that stole some goods and that was it.
But they ended up making a mess. r/find Boston suspects.
Okay.
For the sake of YouTube, we'll be calling the subreddit Find Boston Suspects, not the other word. In April 2013, a tragedy hit America hard. It happened during the Boston Marathon. Thousands were running through the streets. Suddenly, explosions went off near the finish line. Dozens were injured and some didn't make it. The FBI launched an investigation to find out who was responsible.
Make no mistake, we will get to the bottom of this.
But while the feds worked the case, some people on Reddit thought they could solve it faster than the cops. So they created a subreddit called Find Boston Suspects. But instead of helping, they became the internet's worst detectives. The group started by analyzing photos from the event.
Much of the activity on this page involved Redditors scanning over blurry and grainy images that were taken from the Boston Marathon in an attempt to...
So I guess this Reddit just went from like well-intentioned people, they just turned into a bunch of schizos. So it was people who were trying to do the right thing that ended up just like losing their minds and being useless and wasting a bunch of time on shit that they have like no background to be able to conduct this research properly, like LARPing as FBI agents.
To find a suspect.
They zoomed in on backpacks. They circled random faces.
I assume what he's gonna get to is that someone ended up falsely accusing some person of being the person who did this atrocious crime, and that was like the problem.
Looked for anything suspicious. Then they started pointing fingers with very little proof. Their first suspect was a 17-year-old runner named
so this is like vigilante, like fake detective shit, like
Salah. Members of the subreddit were convinced that Salah and his coach looked suspicious. The coach had a backpack which they thought contained the devices.
He just has orange juice in it.
So the group spread their photos online, accusing them of being the suspects. Even the New York Post put Salah and his coach on the front page. But there was a big problem. Salah was completely innocent. He was so scared for his safety that he went straight to the police to clear his name. Luckily, he was able to prove that he had nothing to do with the incident. But the Find Boston Suspects community wasn't done causing trouble. On April 18th, 2013, the FBI released photos of the real suspects. But there was another problem. The photos were blurry, so the faces were hard to make out. And once again, the subreddit didn't wait. They rushed to blame someone else. The subreddit compared the blurry FBI photos to random people on social media. That's when someone brought up a man named Sunil. Sunil was a 22-year-old student who went missing a month before the incident. And just like that, the group decided he must be one of the suspects. They posted his name, they shared his photos, and they spread the accusation across the internet. To them, Sunil wasn't missing, he was hiding.
Police believe this new image from a surveillance camera shows the 22-year-old just moments after leaving his campus apartment.
Sunil's family created a Facebook page to find him, but after the rumor spread, that page was flooded with hate. They accused the family of hiding a terrorist. The harassment was so bad that the family deleted the Facebook page. Somehow, that only made things worse. Now, people were sure they were hiding something. Even journalists started repeating the rumor. One phrase started trending, "We did it, Reddit."
We did it, Reddit. This is like the corniest, like... Reddit, we did it! Reddit, we did it. We did it, Reddit. That is one of the most soy ways to celebrate. I feel like that could ever... It's celebrating, again, something that isn't, like, confirmed. Reddit, we freaking did it. We're like the Avengers. We should, like, all hang out sometime, bro. We did it, Reddit.
It was what people said when Reddit cracked a big case. But they were completely wrong. On April 19th, the truth came out. The FBI found the real suspects and arrested them. Sunil was innocent. The Find Boston suspect.
We didn't do it, Reddit.
Subreddit destroyed his reputation for nothing. After the truth came out, Sunil's family was furious. Reddit later apologized to Sunil's family. Then they banned the Find Boston Suspects subreddit.
Shocker.
But it was too late. Because of a wild internet humor, his family was humiliated.
We, knew unconvincingly that this was not Sunil, and it was just very difficult to have the events of that night unfold so aggressively.
Sadly, the story didn't end there. Even though everyone now knew Sunil had nothing to do with the incident, he was still missing. Just days later, police found Sunil lifeless near his school. That meant he wasn't even alive when the incident happened. The Find Boston Suspects subreddit didn't conduct an investigation. They led a witch hunt. It was horrible that two innocent people were tracked down as if they were suspects. What's surprising,
I think that also what they have to understand is that their tactics are something that the police would never use. Like, the police would never take the fact that he deactivated, or that his family deactivated a Facebook account as proof. You have to understand, to be impartial would mean that you look at this as something where, yes, they deactivated the Facebook account, which can maybe cause some sort of suspicion, like, okay, what are they hiding? But you also have to use your brain and understand that, yeah, they could also just be getting away from the harassment. And this is not just normal harassment. Like, oh, we're leaving a dislike on your YouTube video. This is when people think that you literally killed human beings and they're gonna harass you like this. It's just not the same at all.
this stuff happens every day, and it could easily happen to us because data brokers sell our personal information online. You could go to any data broker website.
They have to understand, like, after that happens as well, I don't think Reddit giving them an apology is enough. Like, they have to be litigious with this. Take them to court. Take any person who posted on that and was signal boosting content that defamed him to court. Make some money off of the fact that they just fucked your life and your reputation up. That's 100% what you have to do.
Right now, and buy anyone's data, which to me is honestly insane. And if they buy your, but still seen as attractive. From that
What's this?
Will be /JB. For the
Justin Bieber?
sake of our channel staying safe from the YouTube hammer, we'll be calling this subreddit JB. The JB subreddit was full of creeps. Urban Dictionary defines JB as a girl who is too young, but still seen as attractive.
My innocent ass thought it was Justin Bieber. I thought it got banned for harassing Justin Bieber, not for being pre-3 files, PDFs, Dr. PDF. Like, this is crazy. Oh man, I don't even know what that meant. Honestly, like, for how dark the depths of the internet are, I really feel like I don't know enough. Like, I feel like my brain is still virgin with a lot of things. Like, I just don't know how bad some of the shit is.
From that definition alone, it's obvious what this community was about. Members of this group posted suggestive photos of young females. A lot of the images were stolen from Instagram, Facebook, and school websites. Some were even taken with hidden cameras. What these men were doing was disgusting, but they weren't hiding it, not even a little. In fact, JB was...
So this is something where, like, now what happens is that this Reddit, I assume, gets shut down, and what we get now as a result after getting banned is they all just move to Instagram. You know how bad the Instagram predator problem is? Like, the Instagram predator problem is so fucking pervasive that there are people making accounts using AI to make pictures of children in suggestive like positions and scenarios, and are trading the images of AI in Instagram group chats, and they're using code, they're using shit. Like, the lengths that predators will go to obtain disgusting material, even if it's not real, are so fucking insane that you would think if this person had taken this energy and this drive to obtain illegal and harmful material to anything else, anything that actually was productive, they would be a fucking Nobel Peace Prize winner.
famous.
And also, on the topic of AI, the fact that we're not getting daily updates with regulation policy is crazy to me, because it is evolving daily, but the laws around it are not, which is, I don't know, we gotta, you know, speed this up a little bit with how crazy it is that you can not only take someone's likeness and make money off of it, like with AI Drake, which is crazy. There's a lot of sexual things that you can get out of, like, using AI to replicate someone's looks. And, you know, listen, I've used AI for some of the thumbnails, but I think that the difference difference is that the way that I use AI is just, it's to make a more clear image of something that's like blurry or something that doesn't exist, where like if, for example, I want to have an image of Hassan making like an angry face, but I don't want to spend the time to go through all of his stream and find him making an angry face, and then that image of him with the angry face is in like 240p because it's from a webcam, it's a screenshot. Like, I'm just saving time to get something that isn't unethical, whereas like the ethics around what these people are doing are unquestionably bad, right?
Subreddit was extremely popular on the website. So popular that it even won Subreddit of the Year in
Oh my goodness. Holy shit, yeah. When, like, are you seeing where the stereotypes are born about Redditors now?
2008 via user poll.
2008, Jesus, dude. People were really like, you know, the internet I feel like was more anonymized back then because it was more niche and less mainstream. Imagine this was a thing now. Everyone would have gotten fucking like DDoSed and all these names would have been out.
Let that sink in.
But no one was tech savvy back then.
And JB won Subreddit of the Year. That means people actively voted for it. At one point,
yeah, this was like Wild West period of the internet.
JB was the
surface web was like deep web.
Second most searched term on Reddit. That brings up the obvious question. How did Reddit allow this community to exist? When Reddit first launched, there were barely any rules. Users could post almost anything as long as it wasn't illegal. That's because Reddit's founders believed in free speech.
I guess it's like a gray area.
And they defended that belief even
Lol, how that age, bro. Free speech.
even when it came to JB.
Reddit's general manager at the time, Eric Martin, said that while he was disturbed by this group, it's not the place of Reddit to censor the users.
Reddit bosses said having to stomach questionable subreddits like JB are part of the price of free speech on a site like this. Surprising.
Yeah, but this is the problem where you're talking about free speech, yet you're putting actual people in harm's way. I feel like that's no longer free speech. Like, if I call for violence against somebody, no one will argue that my speech is protected by the law because I'm inciting violence against somebody. I've now used my speech to hurt other people. You're doing the same thing with this, except it's not with material harm. It is with gathering groups of people who have a vested interest in subverting the law to gratify themselves. This is something where it's so obviously obscene, and anybody who's arguing that this is like a legal gray area should at the very least understand that morality-wise, this is 100% unacceptable, and we can make things that are immoral banned. This is not something where free speech is going to protect you. You know, there are some things where the morality of it, regardless of the law, is so unquestionably bad that there should be actions taken against it. This exists. Like, let me think of an example. Like, there are probably people on Reddit who are going to get banned for saying things that are like homophobic or transphobic, or, you know, there are things that are, you know, protected by law in terms of speech, but they are offensive to people and therefore will be banned. I think the problem is that the offense of this comes from the fact that you are trying to literally get around a law designed to protect children. It's different.
Surprisingly, many people agreed. They were scared that if Reddit banned one community, it would start banning more, and that would kill free speech on the site. But then,
like, people like to invoke the slippery slope fallacy incorrectly. That right there, I think, is the pinnacle of slippery slope fallacy. Arguing that because a subreddit that is skating on a legal gray area that involves harming children is gonna get banned, and everything else is gonna get banned that might be slightly controversial. That's not even close to true at all. Like, because free speech is something that we value, these two are not at odds, okay? These are not a conflict of interest. Free speech and protecting it necessarily need this in order to uphold it. You can get rid of this and free speech is fine.
Involved and things that got more complicated. In September 2011, a CNN reporter called Reddit out on national TV. He criticized them for hosting a community full of creeps. That report turned millions of people against JB and Reddit. You would think that would get JB banned, but the opposite happened. The CNN spotlight made JB more popular. The very next day,
they did kill free speech, but it's not because of that subreddit? Well, yeah.
JB got 1.7 million views in a single day. That was the most attention the group ever received. JB seemed untouchable. Then one post brought
What I don't understand either is that if you are like the Reddit owners who have access to all of the accounts and stuff, you do realize that you just like released this all to the government, right? Like, this ironically could have been the best honeypot of all time. Host this content, say you won't ban it because you like free speech, which tells people they're safe here, but it's actually a honeypot to get all their credentials and information. Like making sure that when they have to make an account, they use their phone and 2FA and like ID verification. Now you have all of their data and you can just give that to the government and actually take some people who are fucking weird and creepy to jail. Just a thought.
Everything crashing down. In October 2011, someone uploaded a new picture to the group, but the real problem wasn't the photo. It was a comment underneath it. The user claimed they had content of the same girl, and they were willing to share it in private messages.
Wow.
Dozens of members reached out to him asking for the files. The post stayed up long enough for people to screenshot it, and those screenshots spread beyond Reddit. That was the final straw. That was an actual crime. That night, Reddit banned JB. By 8 p.m. Eastern time, anyone who tried accessing the subreddit saw this message. The subreddit has been shut down due to threatening the structural integrity of the greater Reddit community. For some,
that's a great reason, yes, because Reddit. It's been shut down because it threatens Reddit. Not children, it threatens the bottom line of Reddit.
Shut down.
You can't make this shit up. They're so like they're more worried about how the optics of this are. It's like, ooh, yeah, this comment doesn't look good. We're gonna have to get rid of this because we want to make sure that the Reddit website stays up for as long as possible.
Threatening the structural integrity of the greater Reddit community. For some, the ban was long overdue. For others, it felt like the end of free speech. But looking back, it's obvious which
for others
JB really was.
Way to tell on yourself, bro.
Community that normalized terrible behavior. This next Reddit community seemed like a joke, but they caused real pain to lots of innocent people. r/HermanCainAward. This group was accused of mocking the dead. It was like they celebrated when someone passed away. Sounds insane, but if you understand how the group started, it begins to make sense. The subreddit was called HermanCainAward. It was named after US politician Herman Cain. In early 2020, Herman Cain called the COVID pandemic fake news. Herman Cain kept attending crowded events. Weeks later, in July 2020, Herman Cain got sick and passed away soon after. 2 months later, the HermanCainAward subreddit was created, but it wasn't made to honor.
So basically, it's to flex on the people who passed because they didn't get vaccinated. Okay.
How he lived. It was created to mock how he died. The goal of the subreddit was simple. It shared stories of people who denied COVID and then got infected and didn't survive. Each post followed a formula. You'd see a screenshot of someone downplaying the pandemic or refusing the vaccine. Then you'd get an update.
It's so crazy how to these people in this subreddit, the idea of not getting vaccinated and then dying is like the same thing as not looking both ways when you cross the road and then getting hit by a car. They literally do this like FAFO, like, what did you expect? You didn't get vaccinated. As if it's like the same thing where you can expect to get hit by a train if you're in this fucking train tracks. Like it's at all comparable. It's so dehumanizing. And it's also like, listen, the idea of the vaccine is to protect people, right? And so if you choose not to get protected because you think that that actually is the thing that will ironically get you more protected, then it's like, is stupidity a crime? And is stupidity enough to get you killed? Is stupidity a valid reason to support someone's death? You know? Like, are you serious? This is like, oh, yeah, this guy was really stupid. You know, he said, one of his friends said, do it no balls to licking the fucking ground, and then he got a disgusting disease and then died. He deserved it because he did it. It's like, well, you know, I mean, it was stupid, but he didn't deserve it. I think that you're completely void of morality if you're saying that this stuff is legit. And also, this stuff was so culture war-y that it's just like actually crazy. It's really crazy. No, I don't understand how there's like any compassion here.
Of someone downplaying the pandemic or refusing the vaccine. Then,
like, how are you pro-vax but also pro-death? How does that make sense?
You get an update from the same person.
The vax is supposed to save lives, right? And then someone who doesn't get it, you're happy that they died? What?
Announcing they've caught the flu, and the last screenshot revealed the person's fate. If the person survived the illness, the post was labeled nominated. If they changed their mind and got vaccinated, it was labeled redemption. And if they passed away, they were awarded. That meant they received the so-called Herman Cain Award. By 2021, the media heard about the Herman Cain Award, and they called out the subreddit for being heartless. Families who lost someone would come online only to find their loved one turned into Reddit content.
But by maintaining a subreddit like this, you're cheering for it, right? You want the next story to come in. And beyond that, it's just incredibly disrespectful.
Your death is content to Reddit, by the way. This is how they view it. It's so crazy. I don't understand this at all. Like, yes, people who didn't get vaccinated, that was a controversial thing to do, but I don't think anyone was doing it because they hate people or that it was something out of the malicious intent from their heart. This is something that they thought for themselves the vaccine would have been bad, and so they didn't get it. and they unfortunately died. Maybe COVID related, maybe not, maybe, you know, immunocompromisation or whatever it could have been, but you're just happy for that. It's just, that's just toxic, like counterproductive. Terrible optics too.
For the mourning families.
The subreddit's defenders said it wasn't about celebrating death. To them,
you literally gave it an award.
Was about
that's literally a celebration.
Showing the danger of misinformation.
They only award people, right, given the Herman Cain Award, to people who were actively propagating, spreading, and parading extreme misinformation.
Members
propagating is literally just like, if you didn't get vaccinated, then you're propagating misinformation. It is such a nothing burger filling word. Nothing, like if you've said, hey, I'm not getting vaccinated, you're propagating anti-vax misinformation. So if you just disclose that your personal choice was not to get vaccinated, to them, you're propagating misinformation. How is that possible? If you even gave no information about why, yet you are just saying, hey, I didn't get vaxxed, that's not propagating misinformation at all. That's propagating a personal choice that you made by telling people about it, you know?
Spreading and parading extreme misinformation.
Members of the group took...
And then also, let's just take, like, let's say that there are some people that are propagating misinformation, because I'm sure that that is a group of people that were, you know, deceased. Is that now, like, calls for you to flex on them after they died? Is that now how this goes? Misinformation spreaders need to die? Oh, hey, you were anti-vax on the internet and then had bad information and you died, lol. That's crazy to me. I feel like that is just not normal at all.
Took things too far. They tracked...
We did it, Reddit.
...down grieving family members on Facebook. Then they sent
you're literally
nasty
stalking
messages
them,
mocking the deceased relatives.
How
it was like they were
like,
intentionally...
terminally online, and like COVID also did this, where this made people so fucking online, or they're doing shit like this. Peak unemployment, bro. Quarantine had everybody fucked up. I should not put these on. This is a serious video.
Trying to cause pain. By that point, the subreddit started to seem more like a mob. The harassment got so bad that the subreddit's moderators had to intervene. They issued warnings and banned members who harassed grieving family members. However, many members didn't see anything wrong with the harassment. It became a huge debate within the group. Today, this subreddit is still active and it has about 500,000 members. To some, it's a wake-up call. To most, it's none other than harassment. This next subreddit was so bad it caught the attention of federal agents.
Oh no.
r/Darknet markets.
Oh.
The FBI has seized control of
I wonder why. Any guesses, guys? What this subreddit might be about and what they might be doing? Darknet markets? I don't know. Head scratcher.
a controversial website which made buying drugs as easy as going to the store.
In October 2013, the FBI shut down Silk Road. It was a website where people bought illegal stuff like substances, fake IDs, and stolen credit cards. People even ordered hitmen on Silk Road. If you want to know more about this website, check out the whole documentary I
Ross Ulbricht
created about it.
How a Boy Scout? He was a Boy Scout?
Silk Road disappeared. It left a vacuum. Thousands of people were searching.
And he got pardoned. I know that he got pardoned by Trump.
For the next place to get illegal goods. So someone created a Reddit group to solve that problem. It was called Darknet Markets. Darknet Markets didn't sell anything illegal, but it told you where to find it. The group was where dealers, hackers, and cyber criminals would hang out and talk about what happened on illicit marketplaces. If someone wanted to buy substances online, all they had to do was scroll through the subreddit, and they would find recommendations.
What even are these? Wow. Dude, look at what they're selling here. Jeez. Wow, they got a lot of stuff on here.
Wanted to buy substances online, all they had to do was scroll through the subreddit, and they would find recommendations on the best places to buy from. It even had tutorials on how to spot undercover cops and how to buy illegal stuff.
I mean, but that makes sense. Like, you would need that on there. You know, you gotta help out your brothers who are just trying to cop some. Hey, don't go to that guy, he's a fed.
Leaving a paper trail. And it wasn't a small group. The subreddit grew to 160,000 members. But with that many people, they weren't
160, that's 1.6 mil, bro. Reread the script.
Exactly flying under the radar. By 2015, federal agents heard about the group, so they started monitoring.
Wait, that's kind of late.
Waiting for one person to...
Bro, hold on a second.
1,000 members. But with that many people, they weren't exactly flying under the radar. By 2015, federal agents heard...
So they were up for how long, and then the feds got involved? Like, I don't understand how this is not like an immediate thing. Like, it's called Darknet Markets, and people, like, they're just like, whoa, what's this? Literally is called Darknet.
Heard about the group.
Our tax dollars, bro.
So they started monitoring, waiting for one person to slip up so they could swoop in. In 2015, the feds made a move. They sent Reddit an order demanding personal information for 5 members of the Darknet market.
Should have done it for other stuff.
Those users were linked to a new black market called Evolution, and the FBI wanted to arrest them. Reddit wouldn't say if they gave the FBI the information or not. They stayed totally silent.
They definitely did. They have to comply.
The community panicked. People stopped posting. Activity dropped fast. Then in 2018, 3 years after the FBI's request, Reddit updated its policy. The new policy banned users from promoting illegal goods and services. Darknet Markets was clearly breaking that rule. So in March 2018, Reddit banned them. This next subreddit created a problem for the entire world.
That makes sense. What is this?
r/deepfakes.
Yeah.
The subreddit changed the internet forever, but not in a good way. The group was created by a Reddit user who went by the name Deepfakes, and in 2017, he discovered a creepy new way to use AI. He would take the faces of female celebrities and put them onto adult videos. The results were so realistic, people thought the videos were real.
It's very difficult to convince people that that isn't you, because if it looks like you, it might as well be you.
Soon, the Reddit user created a Reddit community to show off his work. He named it after himself, Deepfakes. And once again, for the sake of YouTube, we'll be calling it Fakes. Within 2 months, the subreddit had...
Well, you just said deepfakes, so I'm confused. But also, it is crazy to me how there are, like, people who have this sort of innate gift with technology, who are smart, who are, they do learning, they understand how these machine algorithms work, and they just use it to jerk off. Like, why don't you just use AI to do not jerk off content? Like, I feel like you just get richer that way. Actually, maybe you get richer this way. That might be it. Maybe they just do it for the money. Fill up the piggy bank, bring home the bacon. Why not? Why not? Who cares if it violates ethical guidelines or, like, ethical principles that any person has? It's you know, just makes them... Hey, honey, it's been a few years since we've seen you. You know, you've been kind of MIA, but what's going on? So I have this cool subreddit, okay? Check this out. You guys know who Margot Robbie is, right? Yeah, it's an actress, yeah. Okay, do you know what this website is? PH.com? Yeah, that's a little inappropriate. Why are you talking about that? You're not gonna believe who's on there because of me. What? Yeah, it's just like, I feel like just take this and do anything else. Honestly, just like Fortnite porn is better than this. No, I'm serious. Like, it literally is. From an ethical perspective, I'm actually serious.
Had 15,000 members. The group was filled with AI videos of celebrities. But soon, people didn't just want to watch celebrities. They uploaded photos of real people they knew and asked for AI videos of them.
Some stuff that I saw online was people requesting deepfakes of their sister so that they can use that to blackmail them, requesting deepfakes of family members, of their teachers.
Eventually, that wasn't enough too. The members wanted to learn how to make the fake videos themselves. At this point, fakes was no longer one guy's username. It became the term for inappropriate videos made using AI.
The term was born in Reddit when members of a group called Deepfake used AI to put celebrities' faces on actors.
But making fakes was hard. You needed a powerful computer and coding skills, but that was about to change. In 2018, a member of the subreddit released a software called FakeApp. FakeApp made creating fakes as easy as clicking a few buttons. Just upload the picture and let the AI do the rest. Now anyone could make
Is that Justin Trudeau?
A few buttons. Just upload the picture and let the AI do the rest.
Yeah, that one definitely doesn't pass, I'll be honest.
Now anyone could make a fake. FakeApp spread like wildfire far beyond Reddit. On January 24th, 2018, a blog published an article exposing the subreddit. They pretty much blamed the group for kickstarting the AI video epidemic. The article went viral. People were furious and Reddit couldn't ignore it anymore. 2 weeks later, Reddit banned the fake subreddit. They also uploaded their policy to ban all involuntary inappropriate content. However, it was too late. Even after the ban, FakeApp continued to spread. And today, fakes blackmail is still a huge problem online. This next subreddit turned tragedy into entertaining content. r/watch.
I mean, like, guys, again, this is just, I legitimately don't even understand how this got through the first, like, let's make a subreddit phase of making a subreddit. Like, the very first part where you have to pick the name for it. Hey, let's redo that. How did they not even say, hey, this is something where just by the name of it, we're going to make sure we're going to put it on pause. A human can review this, then we'll get back to you with making it public. How long was this up? And how is this like allowed on Reddit? Like, I get that it's on the internet, like there's like live leaks and stuff, but I thought that Reddit was pretty sanitized for the most part. When was this made? Like, it had to be like 2010.
Watch people die. Watch People Die, or WPD, was exactly what it sounded like. It was a community where members could watch real videos of people losing their lives. The subreddit started in 2012, and the content...
Yeah, 2012. Okay, that makes the most sense.
...was disturbing.
Yeah, because it's all just, you know, like early Wild West internet stuff. I genuinely cannot fathom why or understand why someone would want to see this. Yeah, I mean... Like, there's a lot of things you can write off for, like, okay, that's someone's fetish or that's someone's unique autistic interest. But with this, like, there's no pleasure you get out of it in any way. It's not educational. It's just shocking. Like, is it just something where it's like you feel nothing in your life and you're just numb to everything, and so that you just literally need something to make you feel anything like this? That's crazy. Like, Jesus.
Members claim the group showed the unfiltered reality of death. But
why?
Why would anyone want to watch that? One member said it wasn't a place where we laugh and make fun of people's deaths. The reason we keep coming back is because it really shows us how precious life is.
What?
Another claimed that...
So you wake up and before you go to work, you watch one of these just so you can, like, appreciate the fact that you're not on the fucking Reddit page?
Watching workplace accidents made them more careful on the job. But that didn't change...
That's gotta be cope.
...change the fact that it operated like a page filled with shock, full of videos of ordinary people losing their lives. At first, Reddit ignored WPD's shocking content. Then, in September 2018, Reddit placed the group under quarantine. That meant WPD's posts were hidden from Reddit's front page. Only the group's members could see the content. Even in quarantine, WPD kept growing. By 2019, it had more than 400,000 members. However, with the kind of content being shared, it was only a matter of time before WPD got in trouble. And that moment came in March 2019. In March 2019, a tragedy in New Zealand led to multiple fatalities. Ooh. The attacker live-streamed the incident.
Is this a subscribe to PewDiePie thing?
On Facebook, and the footage quickly spread across the internet. Eventually, it reached the WPD subreddit. This was exactly the kind of video WPD existed for, so they posted it. But the footage was too graphic. And out of respect for the victims and their families, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube scrubbed it from their platforms. But WPD didn't. While other sites took it down, WPD kept the video up, and people were furious. Internet users begged...
Is that a blurred image from the real thing? Because I feel like that's fucking crazy.
WPD to remove it out of respect for the grieving family.
I also 100% think that people hold a double standard where, like, it's only an educational thing that helps them at work until it's someone that they know. Like, you're not gonna watch a video of someone you love every day getting crushed by, like, a compactor at work for education purposes and to remind you how valuable life is. You know, if it's someone that you loved, then all of a sudden, well, hey, whoa, that's too far. That's messed up. I can't get education value out of that or whatever. It's not gonna remind me how precious life is because it's someone I love. It's just shock value. Like, you're just a fucked up guy, and that's why you're watching it.
But WPD didn't listen. Instead, they locked the thread. Then they posted this message. The video stays up until someone censors us. The video is being scrubbed from major social media platforms, but hopefully Reddit believes in letting you decide for yourself whether or not you want to see unfiltered reality. At that point, it was WPD versus the world. Since WPD wouldn't budge, people put pressure on Reddit. And this time, the pressure worked. A few hours after WPD posted that message, Reddit banned WPD. The ban was for posting content that incites or glorifies violence. The ban was a long time coming because turning people's final moments into content was just disrespectful. These Reddit communities didn't just exist. They grew because people kept watching. But when you constantly look at the worst parts of the internet, it starts to feel normal. So my friends, protect your sense of what's right and wrong, because once you lose it, it's hard to get it back. Visual Venture.
Good video. Completely agree. I didn't know Reddit was this fucked up. I thought the worst that they had was like r/atheism. I still don't understand how that had so many dislikes. Banger, by the way. Like, who are the people who are disliking this?